Find today in a high-profile murder retrial in Fort Lauderdale as defense attorneys try to poke holes in the prosecution's case. Local 10's Ian Margot live with today's testimony. Ian.
Another day of testimony in the retrial of Deyonte Resiles. Today, jurors were listening to crime scene techs and experts talking about the evidence from this case starting back in 2014 to as recent as just a couple of years ago.
There were blood stains on the floor. I noticed that there were boxes and drawers that were open. There was jewelry on the floor.
Crime scene investigator Eliza Shaw describing what she remembers from 2014 when Jill Halliburton Sue was found stabbed to death in the bathtub of her Davie home.
Her legs were tied around with an electrical cord. Her arms were tied with a sash or the tie to the rope. I observed multiple stab wounds on her upper body.
The victim had been stabbed and slashed more than 20 times, and the man now charged with her murder is Deyonte Resiles. This is actually the second time Resiles has been tried for the crime, his first trial ending with a hung jury.
And I swabbed these areas around.
In court Wednesday, the jury listened as crime scene techs described how they've processed the evidence from this case, even showing how they swabbed the inside of this knife handle for DNA. Meanwhile, Resiles' attorneys have been doing their best to pick apart the state's evidence, trying to establish reasonable doubt.
But in reference to your analysis of what was on that knife, the DNA that you found, you cannot say how that DNA got on that knife, correct?
That is correct.
So there was one issue today. Apparently a clerk here in the courthouse actually said something to a member of this jury about this case, saying that she had heard about it on the news and knew it involved a knife. The judge had to question the jurors one by one to ask them about what happened and then reminded all of them they cannot speak to anyone about this case. Live in Fort Lauderdale, Ian Margot, Local 10 News.